Greetings, dear audience. We continue reviewing mid-range pre-built PCs from stores, and this is our second candidate in the mid or even slightly higher segment for gaming in Quad HD and serious work with a claim for serious work. And perhaps it's worth starting by showing the unboxing and explaining what kind of beast this is. The first thing that catches the eye is the case. I haven't had one like this before. Again, a minimalist style, but there's something about it. Symmetrical openings, a dust filter in front, and 3 fans for intake and 1 for exhaust are already there. And this is not a very expensive case, by the way, from your favorite power supply manufacturer, Aerocool. Everything is packed very securely. We see that they place air mattresses under the cart. And that's right, there's a danger zone during transportation. I've had such issues before. Everything is intact here, and that's how you should pack if the PC is being shipped with a cart. We see that the case has many openings for water cooling, for example, or additional fans, which aren't needed here because there's nothing to heat up. I'll show you more. 1 second, what's this here? The motherboard itself doesn't have Wi-Fi, and the manufacturer decided to install a separate Wi-Fi module. Indeed, I've noticed that it's very rare to sell ready-made PCs without Wi-Fi. It's good that they didn't skimp on this here. Attach the antenna and go. The only thing I don't really like are these cheap dust filters, which quickly lose their appearance and are hard to clean. Personally checked. Overall, it looks expensive, even without water cooling, and under the huge tower there's a rather fierce processor from Intel. The thing is, it's not just for gaming PCs, but also for work tasks. It has no weak points, in my opinion, because it has the latest Intel Core Ultra 5 245KF processor, and that's, for a moment, not the initial Ultra 5, but quite a powerful 14-core processor that allows rendering and working with graphics and video easily. This is a descendant of the Intel Core i5 14600K. Indeed, it has as many cores as threads. If compared to the Ryzen's, its closest competitor, in my opinion, is the Ryzen 7 9700X. But if earlier Intels easily reached 100 degrees under full load, like the same 14600K with weak cooling, here air should be sufficient. I was actually offered such a PC with water cooling, to which I said, no, let's make it a bit cheaper and put in a tower, let's see what happens. Ade ashikoza aizlas. At the same time, in my opinion, a small tower won't suffice. So here we have the ID Cooling Frozen A620 SE ARGB. And that's less than even a budget water cooler, and it definitely won't leak. In short, a large double but not very expensive tower, also with lighting. The motherboard is our golden middle, but even a Z chipset for future upgrades, Gigabyte Z890M Gaming X. Again, it meets the expectations of a mid-range build, as it can be upgraded to a hypothetical Ultra 7 without issues. However, the fact that it doesn't have built-in Wi-Fi is not ideal, so you need to purchase an additional module, and the most desired and valuable, of course, is the video card. Like everything else, it's not from the super top segment, but closer to the golden middle and even higher. It's the Gigabyte RTX 5060 Ti 16GB for a moment, gaming OC. 16 gigs is important, and I don't even consider 8 gigs for video. I had a graphics card from this line, 4070 Ti Super, and there were absolutely no issues. 3 fans, so it should be quiet and quite cool. Cool, it's not a giant but quite solid. By the way, the glass and the side panel here are screwless. The cover just comes off and wouldn't close if there was a bunch of wires. But, as we can see, everything here is very neat, almost excessively so. It's laid out symmetrically, and there's even a hub to connect the fans and lighting. This is what I like in cases, and all of this is powered by a power supply with even a surplus of 750 watts. Gigabyte GP P750BS at 750 watts, bronze active PFC, and many protections. And the RAM, it's there and feels out of place from embarrassment because a sticker is applied so it can't be removed.
How dare you!
On the video card too, by the way, I noticed that stores often put seals because inexperienced users sometimes break something a little. But if I want to add RAM or clean the graphics card, what should I do, dear sellers? Well, breaking it is not our thing, right? RAM at 6000 MHz, but with lighting, and here, in my opinion, it's out of place. I think it's better to install without lighting, which would be cheaper but with higher frequencies. Intel likes RAM frequencies, but 30th timings and 32 GB, that's the main thing. But what I really appreciated quiet operation, at least in idle, it's almost inaudible. Well, I have a fetish for quiet PCs. Here's our desktop. This is what the manufacturer set as the wallpaper, flaunting the brand. With glass, it even looks more interesting. Something is a bit lacking here, right? Let's run something that can really heat up the PC. That's what I fear with Intels. Let's check the temperatures. To start, it's clear that the processor in rendering takes more than its base 125 watts when boosting, and of course it emits more heat. To start, it's clear that the processor in rendering takes more than its base 125 watts when boosting, and of course it emits more heat. I can't say that this tower isn't enough for it. At the same time, the video card is 66 degrees, which is an easy task for the hardware. By the way, it doesn't make much noise. Acoustically, everything remains comfortable, but the whole system consumes up to 430 watts during this celebration of life, which is an average result. But let's keep in mind that such loads are unrealistic in life. In Cinebench R23 we have 24,000 points, which is, by the way, somewhere on the level of a 16-thread Ryzen 7 970X gaming benchmark 3D Mark x Spy. More than 16,000 points is the overall score, and precisely because of the processor, this is a couple of thousand more than, say, a gaming PC with the same card but with the popular Ryzen 7 500F. That's what I was saying, the processor is pulling through. Our PC in this gaming test is better than 76% of the PCs tested here from around the world for a moment. And of course, it's time to dive into gaming. The last avatar. To start, let's look at the temperatures. There's nothing to say here. Not at all like it was in the stress test just now. But the trickiness of this game is that it turns out to use changes in graphics every other time and significantly drops FPS when recording the screen with the card, like here. I am not recording the screen, but here I turn on the recording. It is noticeable that the FPS immediately drops, and quite significantly. We also see that the card is underloaded and accordingly the FPS is lower. In short, I restart the game and do not record the screen, just record with the camera. Quad HD monitor, ultra settings and quality DLSS. As we can see, everything is going great. Is this a feature of the game or the card and the game? You can run this game on full ultra settings in Quad HD with quality DLSS with this delay, because it is a specially dense location. Foliage, water, moving objects, all of this affects performance and drops FPS. But not in this case. Here everything is okay. If you take ultra graphics in this game, then everything is really beautiful and we have 80 to 100 frames easily. Next, I launch Cyberpunk, also on the ultra preset without path tracing. DLSS is the highest quality. And in The Witcher, I even decided to compare it with another setup with RTX 5060 Ti, which I already tested on the channel, but with a Ryzen 7 700 processor. And this is the case where, yes, we have a bit of a bottleneck in the graphics card and exactly the same FPS, like twins. Ultra preset ray tracing in Quad HD, DLSS and frame generation. Smooth, cool, quiet. What else is needed? In my opinion, it's just a perfect balance of the processor and the graphics card, especially for those who believe in Intel, who need Intel for work tasks as well, but not for all the money in the world. Yes, specifically for serious work tasks, not under the guise of buy me a PC for work, while I just play games.